Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
We just before we were going, we were wondering if there's like any questions you could ask just about the inmate that wandered off.
Nope.
No, there's nothing.
Yep. So you guys can leave the property and you can talk to Josh Helmer.
Okay. And no comment on how this is the second one in the last couple of weeks?
We begin tonight with breaking news. A man described as a dangerous fugitive is on the run from a Fargo recovery center, and law enforcement are trying to find him. He's 37-year-old Timothy Buliu of Red Lake, Minnesota, and authorities say he's considered to be dangerous. Valley News Team's Courtney Lockie joins us live from Center Inc. with the very latest. Courtney?
Andrea, we're standing outside of Center Inc., which is where Timothy Buliu walked away from last night. Authorities say he signed out to go to a local church and never came back. I want to show you his mugshot one more time, and I want to let you know that he was sentenced to serve 5 years on drug-related crimes. He was placed here at Center Inc. in September to serve the remainder of his federal sentence and was due to be released at the end of January. He's considered dangerous due to previous convictions for violent crimes. If you see him, don't approach him and be sure to call police. This is now the second dangerous fugitive that has walked away from Center Inc. within the last 2 weeks. And as you saw in that video that just played, we tried, but no one with the facility would talk to us. Although some of the people staying here said that this kind of a thing happens all the time. People walk away and never come back. This is the same facility that Brenda Cardes also left before disappearing. Her body was later found near the Red River, and police are still investigating. Reporting live in Fargo, Courtney Lockie, Valley News Live.
All right, thank you, Courtney. Once again, Buliu Jr. is 5'8", weighs 218 pounds. He was last seen wearing a brown overcoat, black zip-up jacket, red T-shirt, blue jeans, and red sneakers. Anyone with information is urged to contact police. A major ride-sharing app says in 2018 alone, they received over 3,000 reports of sexual assaults during rides. In the safety report, Uber says there was a total of 235 rapes, but they insist that 99% of rides in America ended without any safety issues. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley talked with local law enforcement today on tips to keep you safe when ride-sharing.
Whether you're waiting for a ride downtown or calling a car at bar close, Derek Swenson with Moorhead Police says don't make yourself a vulnerable target.
Don't be standing at the side of the road waiting for that ride. Be inside or wait for that vehicle to pull up.
And once they do pull up, he says to double check that the make and model of the car in front of you and its license plates matches the description on your app, and says to then share that information with a friend or family member. And while some say they feel awkward getting in the back seat when they're the only rider, police say it's your safest option.
We want to look at safety before feeling polite or maybe just that comfort level. So one of the pieces we want to do again is play that scenario. If something bad happens, where would I want to be?
I always get in the back seat. It's a little harder to access you. You just follow your gut. If you feel uncomfortable, get out. Ask to be stopped earlier than what your destination is.
Both Swenson and Schindeldecker say they rarely see any issues involving rideshare services in the metro, especially when it comes to sexual assaults. And say Uber's new report shouldn't scare you into not hailing a ride.
I think that it's very low, actually, because if you think about how many people use those rideshare services, especially in larger cities, that's most people's primary mode of transportation.
Instead, reminding you to always be cautious and report to the app and police if something doesn't seem right. Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
Both Uber and Lyft also have panic buttons allowing riders to immediately call 911, which also dispatches your GPS location and who you're riding with. We are rolling into the weekend on a quiet note and ready for a little warm-up. Here's Hutch with your No Wait weather. Hutch?
Andrea, thanks so much. Our Friday, not too bad, but cooler than the last couple of days with temperatures only in the 20s. Here's a look across the region. Everyone in the 20s, a few 30s in central North Dakota, a few teens up in northern Minnesota. Hey, from the Red River, points east, including Becker County, Clay County, Otter Tail County, a few flakes of snow flying this evening. Your hour-by-hour forecast for this evening shows the best chance of any flakiness will be east of the Red River, and I don't expect much in the way of accumulation, but it will certainly allow things to stay a little on the greasy side road-wise. For the rest of us, the winds will remain southerly at 5 to 15 miles per hour with temperatures hovering near 20 degrees both here and in Grand Forks. So spotty showers of snow this evening, and the weekend promises to bring more mixed precipitation and a smack of cold air that comes with some very fluffy flakes of snow. I'll have hour-by-hour details in your forecast here, Andrea, in just a moment.
All right, thank you, Hutch. It's time to take a look at this week's Valley's Most Wanted. Police say 21-year-old Caitlin Clevin is wanted for failure to appear on a theft charge. You can call your local law enforcement if you have any information on her. Fargo police want you to know about an email traffic scam in the community. Officials say the email claims you have a moving violation observed by a stationary traffic camera. Fargo police want you to know the city of Fargo does not have stationary traffic cameras, and the North Dakota DOT doesn't either. They remind you, don't respond with money or any personal information. And here's another scam to watch out for, especially if you are a young male. The caller in this one claims to be Detective Aubrey with Fargo Police, or they say they are Dad. They'll tell you an elaborate story about how they'll be arrested unless you give them money. The scammer may also talk about a 16-year-old girl needing help, perhaps therapy, but that you need to pay for it. Fargo Police say don't fall for it. For more information on this story, go to our website, valleynewslive.com, and click on this story. Breaking news for you now out of East Grand Forks. Police there say 2 men have been taken into custody after a standoff in the 600 block of 10th Street Northwest. Police say they will be releasing more information tonight, so stick with Valley News Live for more on that as it develops. Authorities are reminding drivers to stay safe on the roads around town. Traffic was briefly reduced to 1 lane on University Drive earlier today when a car smashed into a utility pole. Crews blocked off part of the street near Olivet Lutheran Church to clear the scene. At this time, the extent of injuries are unknown. Officials say Army investigators will now lead the probe into the crash of a Minnesota National Guard helicopter that killed 3 soldiers on board. The UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter went down about 15 miles southwest of St. Cloud in central Minnesota. NBC's Molly Hunter has more on this story.
In Minnesota, authorities are investigating a deadly crash involving a Black Hawk helicopter. The accident killed all 3 National Guardsmen on board the aircraft. The National Guard says it lost contact with the chopper shortly after it took off from a base near St. Cloud Regional Airport on a maintenance test flight. Rescue teams used the Black Hawk crew members' own cell phones to locate the helicopter.
Just advising, we pinged the second phone. Again, we had 3 occupants on this helicopter.
The wreckage was discovered southwest of St. Cloud between the towns of Kimball and Cold Spring. Video shows the mangled and scorched wreckage just inside a line of trees. The response team beginning their work at dusk, but the investigation continuing well into the night. Officials say the investigation will be ongoing for days, but the priority first and foremost, the families of the deceased.
The coming days will be dark and difficult. The state of Minnesota stands ready to assist the families of our fallen heroes.
Minnesota's Governor Tim Walz, who served in the National Guard himself for 24 years, called the fallen soldiers his brothers in arms. Molly Hunter, NBC News, Kimball, Minnesota.
Master Sergeant Blair Housdens, a spokeswoman for the Minnesota National Guard, says the names of the crew members will be released on Saturday. And in honor of the 3 Minnesota National Guard soldiers killed in that crash, Governor Tim Walz ordered all U.S. and state flags to be flown at half-staff. The family that owns the property where the Black Hawk helicopter crashed yesterday has raised an American flag near the site, also in honor of the 3 soldiers who were killed. Governor Doug Burgum has directed all government agencies to fly the U.S. and North Dakota flags at half-staff on Saturday. Burgum says he encourages all North Dakotans to do the same at their homes and businesses in observance of National Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day. The First Lady paid a holiday visit to the Children's National Hospital today. Melania Trump first met with a few children at the hospital, shaking hands and listening as they read inspirational messages from an Advent calendar. She also helped the kids make snowflakes. And then later, downstairs, other patients and hospital staff members surrounded a small stage where the First Lady read Oliver the Ornament Meets Belle, which celebrates the tradition of Christmas ornaments. The Bison football team is at home tomorrow against the Nichols University Colonels. The game starts at 2:30 live from the Fargo Dome and can be watched on ESPN3. Also, don't forget to tune in for the Farmers Union Insurance Bison football pregame show. That's at 1:30 on KVLY.